week?
Well, we're in the process of rounding out the month. New classes began on Monday,
Hmm.
and we actually have the digital marketing professional program up and running. We have our first enrolled students for it. So, come Monday morning, that's what we're going to be kicking off. So, kind of looking forward to it.
All right, good. Then explain. You said this new course.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
explain it a little
it's
bit.
it's not a course, it's a program,
It's a
right?
program.
It's a difference between a course and a program. I'm just
Yes.
saying.
Yes.
And so the program is taking the place of what once was film production. And so, and I kind of give this history quite often. If you guys can remember back in 2015, Michigan did away with the incentives for film productions or
Hmm.
movies coming into the state in order to get all these tax credits in order to produce their whatever it was.
Hmm.
And so when they got rid of it, it left us kind of in a bad position because we had a film production license. Film production.
Hmm.
So automatically the industry was gone. So we're training people for something in Michigan that doesn't really happen unless it's on an independent local level,
Yeah.
right? So um, we've been really trying to get away from the film production piece for quite some time. I mean, you think about it, you got students, specifically even veterans, who are enrolling into our program, and at the end of the day, when they graduate, they have a film production diploma.
But what can you do with that locally on a large scale?
Right. So, and even more so, I think though, the way we attempted to get around it was simply they would graduate with a specialization in something. So the specialization may be in information technology,
Hmm.
or it may have been digital marketing at that time. But ultimately, we wanted to take it simply back to the core of something that they really could learn a trade from and get placed immediately. And we found in dealing with the employers and the conversations that we've had, digital marketing from a creative standpoint
Hmm.
was that go-to. And so it's kind of been something that's been happening in the background for quite some time. And when I say quite some time, at least a couple of years.
Hmm.
And so finally, we pulled the trigger and said, we're going to go ahead and change all this because you got to think, people have a tendency to believe that Carlos can just walk in and everything just stops and changes just because I say to today. It doesn't happen that way.
No, not in any case.
Doesn't happen that way. I mean, we have to get with the state first, and once we get with the state, we have to get with our accreditation board, and once we get the accreditation board, then we got to either deal with the Department of Education, then we got to deal with the VA. There's a lot of moving parts
Hmm.
in the operations of the school, and so it wasn't simply about changing just the name. We had to change the entire program. We had to change the way that it was going to be reported. We had to change some of the employers that we dealt with in regards to it. And at the end of the day, we did all this with the belief that this was going to be the most beneficial for our student base. So, like I said, this round, as of Monday, will be the first enrolled students for the program underneath the digital marketing professional title.
All right, good deal. Good deal. And maybe at some point down the line, if Hollywood is able to come back to Michigan with the tax incentives, maybe that can be another conversation to where you can add the film production program here at the school, etc. Maybe, but it makes a lot of sense because you have a lot of independent filmmakers here locally, but you come to a trade school, you learn these skills, but then you can't do anything with it in your own backyard,
So
unfortunately.
you got to keep, and I'm often reminding individuals about this. I was having a conversation with someone over the weekend,
Hmm.
and they were asking me about setting up a satellite location in their city. Well, that's fine and dandy, but here's the thing: when you actually operate a school, it's not simply about just teaching people. One of the biggest takeaways that you have to remember about trade schools in particular is that you have to have the job placement piece,
Yes.
workforce development,
Hmm.
right? Maybe back in the 90s or maybe the early 2000s, it was cool to just train people and just, okay, here your diploma, go get it.
No.
But it doesn't work that way anymore.
People are looking for instant results, and rightfully so.
I listen. We've had in the last couple of weeks, we've had companies that come on and we're talking about contingency payment plans.
Hmm.
We're talking about ISAs because the model of education is changing every day. People don't want to pay $50,000 up front to get an education when at the end of the day they get a diploma, a certificate, a degree, and they can't do anything with it on the back end. So
And
now
that's the point. You can't do anything with it.
you can't do anything with it. And so the hope in what we're creating is that you see the value in the beginning, and once you're done with the program, we actually pair you with the employers that specifically have said that if you teach someone this, I'll hire them. And that's different. That's not like how it was, Josh, when you were going to school back in the 80s. I'm just saying.
Ha 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 ha.
It wasn't like that when I was going to school, and I went to school in the early 90s.
Yeah.
It really wasn't. And so the hope, like I say, is that we can take the programs that we're developing, give people a new skill set, and at the same time, they can get the value of the dollar that they're spending for this skill set and pairing them with the opportunities. Is it going to work for everybody? No, it's not. I'm going to tell you the truth. No, it will not. Because quite often, we're reminded that you got to show up and show out.
Of course.
Right?
Absolutely.
And these classes are expedited, meaning that you get a lot of information in a 7.5-month window. And almost probably to the point to where it may be somewhat overbearing. It's so much information you need to know, but you got to think. We've taken a program that on a greater scale may have been 4 years, and we've condensed it into 7.5 months to get you as trained as properly as possible, to get you paired with employment opportunities so that you can win. And if you win, then we win. And that's the whole premise behind it.
It's also good to know the top heads here at DSDT. You're having those ongoing conversations about what programs are really working currently.
Right.
What do we need to switch up, switch out, bring in, and so on.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. Because if you're not paying $50,000 to go to a traditional university, you're still coming here with that mindset of I need something tangible by the time I finish up this program.
Yeah. So you asked me a minute ago. You like, how you doing today? I'm like, man, I'm kind of tired. Blah blah blah. And so I spent yesterday in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
And so my kid, I call her my kid. I know she's a young woman. She's 23, everybody. All right, so my kid is...
He calls me young man, too.
Yeah, right. So she's going to school. She's just got accepted into a master's program at one of the universities.
Right on. Congratulations.
And so I went with her to look for an apartment. And so the first stop that we had was with a young lady that she's been talking to for about a month who was looking for a roommate. The young lady has a bachelor's in communication. She's now going back to school to get a degree in digital marketing.
Because when you say a bachelor's degree in communications, that means what?
I mean, in my mind, it means a lot.
It means a lot.
Means a lot, right?
You have to know what you want to do with that communications degree, whether it's media, whether it's PR.
That's right.
Marketing.
Yep. At the end of the day, though, I was kind of impressed. The simple fact that regardless of where you are in your life, regardless of what you're doing, I don't care if you are the evangelist, bishop at your church, kind of like Josh, he's a bishop. Remember that, everybody. I'm just saying, right? So if you are the coach of the local soccer team, if you are the manager at Bell's grocery store, wherever you are, you have to be an effective communicator.
Yes.
And to me, that's why that degree is so important, right? So she has the paper now, but unfortunately, the degree doesn't meet the time now, right? So she spent her 4 years, she spent X amount of dollars in order to get the degree, and now she's in the marketplace, and she's realizing, one, that's a lot of competition out there with this degree. And at the same time, there's other skills that I need in order to enhance my opportunities that I might be employed. And so she said, I need to go back to school and get some digital marketing under this communications degree so that I can get to where I want to be. And so she's actually enrolled into another vocational school there in Illinois, and I thought it was super sensational. Again, the degree is communication. At the same time, you have to have those skills that would make that even more important today in today's market. Because right now, You know, a lot of times we're getting these pieces of papers, and what are you going to do with it when it's done? Now, mind you, my daughter and I,
Mhm.
we've been having this ongoing conversation for the last couple of years. Yes, she has the degree. She was going to be a speech
Oh, a speech
pathologist.
pathologist.
Yeah, and I
Yep.
was like, what is that? What does that mean?
Help folks who need a little assistance in learning how to
Yeah,
enunciate
yeah,
and
yeah.
develop a better cadence and
Right,
whatnot.
right.
But yeah, yeah. Nevertheless.
So she's going to school now. She wants to be a doctor of audiology, and so she got accepted into a medical.
Now what the heck is that?
A doctor of audiology
Yeah,
means that you can't really hear what I'm saying, so I have to teach you.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like therapist,
All right.
but she's in a doctor's program.
So, but similar universe, if you will. She went from speech to hearing.
Exactly.
All right.
So she seems to like that even more. I'm still blown away. At the end of the day, I just support whatever the dream is.
Amen.
So it is what it is, right?
And where is she going to?
Rush
study?
University.
Okay, and
Rush.
that's in Chicago.
That's in Chicago.
All right.
And I like it.
Yeah.
Because now I get to go to Chicago a lot. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Now don't go there. Start rooting for the Bears
Oh, no. That's not going to
or
happen.
the Bulls,
Stop it. We're not going
or
to
the
do
White
it.
Sox, or the
We're
Cubs, or
not
the
doing that.
Blackhawks.
We're not doing it. I am
All right.
still Detroit from the Rudy to the Tootie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it don't matter. I don't care if we haven't won a Super Bowl. I'm just saying.
Hey, but the Pistons are looking good. There's a little bit of excitement with that team.
I think every year there's excitement for me.
True.
I'm just a diehard Detroiter. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And if we are the underdogs, that's even better for me.
Even better.
Because I'm always counted as being the underdog for myself, so I might as well run with my tribe.
Mm-hmm. That standard Cinderella story.
Absolutely.
Gotta love it.
Absolutely.
All right, brother. So, who do we have on the show today?
I think we actually have a number of people. When I was waiting for them to show up, I was sitting here talking to myself. I was like, I wonder if they actually going to show up today.
Where are they?
Well, one is one of our guest hosts that we had earlier in the year.
Yes.
Mr. Gleaton. We're going to be bringing him back on. We're going to be having
Bernard Gleaton.
We're going to be having a conversation today, and I think that it's going to be a phenomenal discussion because it's something that really does intrigue me. But he's brought it in a way and put a spin on it that I think that our community, our audience, needs to hear this version of it. So without having much more to add to this introduction, let me bring on Bernard so that he can explain it all to us. Bernard Gleaton.
What's up, everybody? What's going on?
Hey, good afternoon, Bernard. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm glad to be alive.
Amen. Amen to that.
If you weren't alive, what would you be?
Oh, man, I got a twin brother. Last time I was on this show, you guys know I got a twin brother. So somehow I'll be living it through him.
Another day, another blessing.
Yeah.
Another day, another dollar, another swallow. I'm just saying, you can't keep saying that and not get my input.
Fair enough. So,
Yeah.
Bernard, what's new with you, man? We haven't had you on in quite some time. Bring
Yeah.
us up to speed.
So lately, just been teaching another semester here at DSDT. Since I've came on board as a faculty member, man, the students have been soaking up all the knowledge that I've been giving them, taking in all the stories and all that type of stuff, man. I'm just very, very appreciative that they are taking in all of this knowledge that I'm giving to them.
And please remind the folks, what are you teaching currently?
So currently I am teaching the A+ certification class.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that will help you to get your A+ certification, which in lack of better terms would just give you just the basic how to fix a computer, how to do other little things. So typical jobs for A+ certification would be like tech support, desktop support. You could be a computer repairman or whatever else like that. But other than that, I really enjoy opening their eyes to the matrix there is of the IT field.
Right on.
Hey, so can you kind of remind everybody, if you will, Bernard, how long have you been working in the IT world?
Yeah, so I've been working in the IT field for just over a dozen years. I've done just a little bit of everything from security to infrastructure, setting up computers, setting up networks and things of that nature. So a little bit of everything. Went from tech support to doing some government contracting to jumping into a international company and doing my job there. So yeah, a little bit of everything.
So if you've been doing this for roughly a dozen years, then you've seen a lot of change happen in the industry.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Mm.
One of the things I really enjoy about my field is that we are all inclusive to people who is coming from other areas of let's say nursing, right? Seeing somebody come from the nursing field over to the IT field, and one of the things I really love about that is that everybody who jump into this field brings their own personal experiences and professional experiences, right? So instead of somebody who just jumps straight into IT and just work all IT, they have that one solid, point of view. Whereas somebody coming from plumbing or nursing or this and that from other fields, they have different perspectives on the field, and that's what I love. That's what I like to hear. I would rather converse with somebody who has a different perspective coming from another field into this field than just somebody who's just been in the field for a long time. You know what I mean?
Bernard, I have to ask a few questions because that is one heck of a pivot you just laid out from nursing to IT. Talk about some of the reasons why you would see someone switch from nursing to IT, and what is the journey when you make that big of a switch in your career?
Yeah. So ironically enough, not this present semester, but the last semester, I had a student who was in nursing, and when I talked to her about it, I asked her, so you in nursing? Why you in healthcare? Why you want to get over into IT? And she said, well, she said she was getting a little older. She's thinking about retirement now. She can't be moving. She can't be on her feet like that, like she used to be. The patience is getting heavier, or she might be getting weaker, where she can't pick up the patients anymore. So now she's thinking about the future. She's thinking about her retirement. And since her cousin told her about the IT field, yeah, just get your A+ certification. You can do tech support. You'll be sitting down and all that type of stuff. So when it was a pleasure, one, to be teaching her. And when we started, talking about it a little bit more, she had no idea about all the different niches that's within this IT field. So when I started asking her about, yeah, did you know about healthcare IT? I mean, you already have knowledge on healthcare, which you being a nurse for a good majority of your career. If you do healthcare IT, you're able to talk to the IT people and also everybody else who's in the healthcare industry, the doctors, the nurses, and things of that nature. So you'll be that go between when they having issues with trying to understand what is this the IT trying to do, or what is it that the doctors or the nurses is trying to do. She was able to be that linchpin to make communication so much easier. You know what I'm saying? So, that pretty much just made me realize that, again, this field is wide open for anybody to get in. Is it tough? I mean, what in life isn't tough, right? But I think for her, in her instance, and for many others who decided to come to DSDT and just check out what we have going on, I think it would be even more beneficial for them later on down the road.
Very insightful. I mean, you just never would think, as you alluded to, nursing is a great profession. For example, and just to see someone make that kind of a switch is hmm, it's food for thought.
Yeah, yeah. Now, mind you, she didn't come into she didn't come into the school knowing everything, right? She was pretty much a beginner, and I had to take it slow with her. But she caught on really fast, and now she's almost ready to run circles around anybody. You know?
Good for her.
Fast learner, love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Jim.
All right, well, Bernard, we're going to have you as our guest host.
Yes.
Go ahead and invite and introduce the special guest of the hour, if you will, sir.
Yes, yes. I am so excited to bring her on here because one, I love her to pieces because of what she does for me. I am bringing on Jasmine Mike Poindexter. She is a virtual assistant. She has her own virtual assistant company called My Vast, where she pretty much just help you push your business forward. All right. As many of you guys, or I may have mentioned last time I was on the show, I have not just me being a teacher here, but I have a lot of other projects going on outside of DSDT. And when I tell you, I brought her on to my team to help me with my own podcast, and she just took it to a whole nother level, So I thank God that I found her because she made my life just that much easier. And I'm almost positive that my wife thanks her too. So, so let's welcome to the show, Jasmine Mike Poindexter.
Good afternoon, Jasmine.
Hello.
So let's start this conversation. Just break it down a little bit more. Exactly what is a virtual assistant?
Okay. So the best way I can make it seem is you have assistants in corporate. They're doing the office work. They're the ones that answer the phones. They're the ones that direct you. I am that person that do that virtually. So I am the behind the scene person who is handling your emails. I'm doing your marketing. I'm doing your social media. I am answering phone calls. I am doing everything virtually from my office, just not in person.
Hmm. And how did you get into that profession?
Um, I had a job in human resources. First, I've always kind of known I like business, but it was more of a minor thing, not a major thing for me. But once I got into human resources, I peeped a lot of stuff that was wrong. And I was the youngest out of a lot of people. I was like 21, I think, at the time. And the older crowd was like 30s and up. So I was young and I was still in college. But I peeped a lot of things that wasn't right in how business was being handled, how client employees were being treated. And I'm a person that speaks up. So once I started speaking up, I kind of started realizing some things and I decided to go into business for myself so that I can not only assist and help grow, but I can also teach.
And your journey sounds a little similar to what Bernard laid out just a moment ago when laying out the example of how someone goes from nursing to the world of IT. You went from human resources to becoming a virtual assistant.
Yes.
Yeah, all right, all right. When is a good time to get a virtual assistant on your staff, on your team, and so on?
Depending
when
on where you are in
when you
your
have enough
business.
money, when you have enough money.
That's a good start. That's a
That's
good start.
yes, that is one of the answers. But I would honestly say, um, once you have an idea or you have some type of foundation of your business.
Mm.
Because believe it or not, business owners, people, entrepreneurs go into business and they think they can just do it all, but they lack the administrative side of it. They don't know how to do the emails. They don't, it's simple things. They don't know how to set up an onboarding system. And it becomes stressful because that's not why they got into business. They got into business to do the thing that they're doing. That's coaching, that's creating a product, whatever it may be. That's why they got into business, not to handle the back end. So I would say as soon as you can, but don't. People think they have to hire a virtual assistant full time. You don't. You can just start off with a couple of hours, just enough to get you started, and then grow with your VA as your VA grows with you.
So, so it sounds like a kind of an assistant a virtual assistant, but you're also more of an independent contractor as well.
Yes, so I actually have my own VA company, which he said is my Vast Incorporated, and yeah, it's contracted. So you can hire the VA to your business if you want, but it just depends on what it is that you desire.
So,
And
so this is different for me. I've been working with virtual assistants now a couple of years, and I've never had one that was stateside. They're always Philippines, South Africa, Brazil.
mhm.
So how did you guys come by deciding that this would be a relationship that was worth uh, bringing, placing more energy and time into?
Well, this is the way I look at it with my business. It is a lot of competition out there, especially with the Philippines. But my company, we don't just take your work and give it back to you. We take your work, we analyze it, we tell you what ways can be done better. We give you advice. We start first, we leave second. And that's what I tell my clients. We serve first and then we lead second. We serve you by providing the service that we offer, but we lead you in helping, teaching you, making you more knowledgeable about what we're using, about what we're doing. My clients, I just don't do the work. My VAs just don't do the work. We teach them how to do it because there are some days I might not be available. My VAs might not be available. So you have to figure it out yourself. So I teach them as well as serve them.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Oh.
No! Wait a minute. What you mean? What you mean? Y'all might not be available, and y'all gonna teach me how to do it myself. I'm paying y'all. Hold on. Slow down. What can you help me with this, Mr. Gleason? Explain to me what it is she just said, because I didn't understand none of that.
Uh-oh.
All right. Well. Let me take a step back first. Let me take a step back first before we try to hit her
Fall
with
back.
with
Fall
all
back.
of this. So, um, like I mentioned earlier, right? I have my own podcast, and amongst other things that I have going on the side outside of DSDT, and yeah, she was pretty much right when it comes to virtual assistants. You hear about the Philippines and all that type of stuff, mostly because it's cheaper out there. But one of the things that I've ran into when I was on my search for looking for a VA was, one, are they going to speak English? Two, are they going to understand English? Right? It's two totally different things for you to speak English, but to understand English too. You know what I mean?
Where
So
were you? Now we going down a rabbit hole. Where
I
were
know
you?
we are. I know we are.
Where were
Come
you
on.
looking? You said, are they going to speak English? Philippines speak English, the second national language,
Yeah.
right?
I get that, but
South
they may
Africa
not
speak English.
understand English. You
They
know
don't
what I mean?
understand it.
They may not understand English. So like the when it comes to like emails, like Jazz said, right?
I'm not
If
touching
I
your
was to
pencil.
give them, if I was to tell them, hey, write up an email to send to this client over here, right? It will be, it won't be something is off, right? There's something that's
It
off
sounds
with their
like,
English.
Bernard, you're looking for a certain kind of lingo. It goes beyond speaking the English language, but knowing the flavor, the vibe.
Yeah, you
Okay.
listen.
I get
It's
it. I'm not going to give you a hard time about it. I absolutely understand what you guys are saying.
yeah,
I've run into that myself in dealing with our team, and you guys know, and I'm sure they're probably watching um, the team that we have offshore. There's a difference in the nationalities, in the cultures,
Yeah, the culture. It's all about
right?
the
And
culture.
yeah,
so certain things that we say, certain things that we do
Hmm.
are totally contrary to one. And let's just be honest, they're even on a whole nother clock than me,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because like right now, it is roughly about 3:30 in the afternoon here, and it's 3:30 in the morning there.
Mm.
So I definitely understand what you say. Um, it's not for everybody because there's
yeah,
a learning curve, especially for the entrepreneurs that actually have their own business and they're still trying to figure out that business. And I think that that's what Jasmine was alluding to. We entrepreneurs, we spend so much time trying to, figure out what it is that we do. I don't know if I'm a sock maker, I just want to make socks. And I don't want to have to send out email blasts, and I don't want to have make lead generation and build funnels and do all these things that somebody else is probably more talented, and as well as I could pay them a few dollars and they could take it off my hands, have at it.
yeah.
So I definitely get it. I get it wholeheartedly. But what I don't get, and this is where you guys are going to help me to understand,
Okay.
because I'm interested, right? I am in the process right now, and this is why this conversation was even more important to me. I want to hire more VAs, and I know that, and I want to say it as I want to say it frank, but I want to say it as respectfully as possible. At times, there are issues with language barriers. there are issues, you know, and I think that as Americans, we have a tendency to think that if a person is not American, then whatever they have to offer is a scam. It's not legitimate. They don't represent the company. It's just a host of things. So, as I'm looking now to get more VAs, why should I be looking stateside more so than I want to go to Jamaica? I've been thinking about going to Jamaica because they speak real good English. I'm just saying, right? Why would you believe, Jasmine, that I should be looking even more so stateside for those next VAs?
It's not more so whether you should be looking stateside. I think it's more so of who's the better fit for your team.
Mm.
I am a person, and I told Bernard this when I first did my discovery call with him. I connect with your vision. That is a huge part of why I do what I do, because when I connect with your vision, that means I can see where you're going and I can help you expand that. If I can't connect with you, then there's no point of me serving you, because then you're not going to get anywhere. So it's more so of who can really help you on your team. Do they have what you're looking for, and can they serve you in the capacity that you need?
What kind of questions should be exchanged between the virtual assistant and the entity as far as to figuring out how is it a good fit? What should we be asking each other? I have my own business, Jasmine. I want to bring you on as virtual assistant. What should I ask you? What should you ask me?
Okay, so I actually have a process for this. When people, potential clients, schedule a discovery call with me, there's a form that they fill out. That form lets me know information about their business, where they want to be in the next 5 years, the services that they need, their budget, hours, all of that. That gives me a brief description of who I'm about to come in contact with. It gives me the opportunity to do a little bit of research depending on what time their call is. And then it also lets me know if I'm gonna be able to serve this person. I can pretty much tell you all of that before I get on the call with you by that form. So when you get on the call with your VA or the potential VA that you're looking at, you want to ask them, what are your skill sets? How long have you been doing this? Okay, if I was in this type of situation, how can we fix this? I'm not going to tell you I know everything, because I don't. VA is constantly learning. When I got into this industry, it's like, okay, there are so many platforms, so many different things out there, so many different skills. You're going to be constantly learning. So if I don't possess something that you're looking for, I would tell you I can help find someone. Or if I have someone on my team, okay, this person is better fit to do this, we can help you in this area. So it's more so of having a idea of what you need before you get on the call versus going in blindsided.
Wow, wow. You seem to know what you're talking about. How long have you been a VA?
I've been in VA about 3 years now, but I've administration, I've kind of been doing it probably about almost six.
6 years. Yeah. Would you change it for another day job? No, retract that question. Here's my bigger question. When you get with an employer, do you tailor your skill sets for the employer? I mean, do you like sit down? Because I've written proposals before, right? And depending on the conversation that I'm having with the client, sometimes I have to come up with skills that I didn't necessarily come into the conversation with. So is that something that as a VA you also do when dealing with those discovery calls that you call them?
Yes. So depending on what it is that they need, I actually have packages that are put into place, but each package is customizable. So it depends on what you need. If you want everything in that package, cool. If not, we can exchange services. So to answer that question, yeah.
How much do packages start off at? I'm just
Start off at
asking.
30 an hour. That's the just for you package. That is a non-commitment package. But once you start getting into like the monthly packages, you have 750 starting off for 10 hours a month.
Do you guys handle sales as well?
Depends. Like, what are you trying to do with sales?
I'm I'm trying to get more business. Now we're talking
More
real.
business.
We talking real business from an employer standpoint, right, or an entrepreneur standpoint. So many times we come into the conversation, and yeah, we understand we need systems, we need processes, but at the end of the day, in order for me to keep paying you, I got to be bringing in some income.
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell me, do you guys handle sales as well, or do you guys just simply do all my administrative tasks? I'm curious.
No, we do you like your email marketing. Now hard sales, we don't really like do that. I don't have anyone on the team for that right now, but it's something I am
Car-
eventually going to have.
Carlos, you came across an interesting article that lays out how virtual assistants are a best friend for small businesses. Let's get into that if we can. And kind of lay out that blueprint, Jasmine, on how it can really benefit small businesses here in the metro area and across the nation.
Okay. Um you said best friends, they're like best friends.
Yeah, yeah. There's an article that lays out how virtual assistants are a small business best friend. Like it really benefits small businesses.
Okay. Um so with that, I would say yes. I want you to think about your time. When you're investing in a virtual assistant, you're investing in your business and you're investing in your time. So you're giving yourself more time to do the things that you desire, whether that is more whatever in business or it's with family, it's with church, is whatever else you got going on. So when you're making that investment, you have someone else who can help you lead in that business. So let's say I use Bernard for example. If Bernard is not in the office, no one's running his business. He's not making money. But if you have a virtual assistant, your business is still going. You can clock out, clock in, and your business you're still making money because your stuff is still going out. Your social media is still being ran. Your email is still going out. Your invoices are still being managed. So your business is still going without you actually being there.
I
Makes
like this
sense.
woman.
Straightforward. I like it.
I like this woman. I'm just saying, I
Yeah.
like this
Hey,
woman.
I will also add that I had I had a guest on my own podcast, and this guy went from this guy went from being an over the road trucker to being a software developer. Like he created a software company, and then he created a real estate company, and all this type of stuff, right? And this guy was a high level thinker, super high level, right? And I started asking him the questions like, how is you doing this? You went from being an over the road trucker to now having a software company and doing this and that. How is you doing this? And he was like, oh yeah, I just copied somebody else's system, but I got two virtual assistants that run my company so that it gives me time for me to do things like podcasting or speaking engagements and things of that nature. And that he pretty much gave me the blueprint as to what to look for when it came to a virtual assistant. I mean, this guy got two virtual assistants running his business, and he's making multi-million dollars a year. I'm trying to get some of that,
Yeah.
you know.
Mm.
I want to
So
be just like him when I grow up.
I'm still trying to be like that.
I'm just saying. So,
So
so
his
here's the
blueprint was the one that kind of led me into hiring Jazz and being my VA. Some of the questions I asked was straight from his playbook.
here's a thought of mine because I keep hearing virtual assistants, and I actually was thinking about this the other day. I don't. So I've been dealing with my team, and a few of the members of the team have been with me literally 2 years, over 2 years. And when I hear virtual assistants, I kind of feel like that like takes away from what they really are, right? I feel like they really are employees. So is there, in my mind, should there be a difference between assistants and virtual employees, or do you kind of feel that they are the same thing, Jasmine?
Mm-mm. That's one of the things I do tell you. I'm not your employee. I have my own business. So when
Ooh.
you're hiring me, you're hiring my
Lay that
company.
out. That's an excellent point. I mean, yeah, I said independent contractor, but maybe it needs to be laid out in those terms.
Yes. So the best way I can put this in example is what I said earlier. I have to teach my clients certain systems that we're using just in case I'm unavailable. Prime example, I'm on the podcast right now. If I have a client call me, I can't answer the phone. So whatever issue that they're dealing with, they have to be somewhat knowledgeable to go in and fix that in their system, or at least text me and say, I need your help after you're done. So when you're working with an independent contractor, they set their own schedule.
Hmm.
Yeah, see, that's probably why I don't have American virtual assistants right there. I know what she's saying, and I get you 100%, right? Because I think that what I was looking for was the mentality of virtual employees, right? Some of the conversation that we had early on was looking for stability. Um, a lot of them had already been in the BPO industry for quite some time, and they said to me, Carlos, look, I'm looking for something that's permanent. I don't want to do it just for a few weeks, short term, and then I have to look for other employment. So we established that relationship, and they literally became employees as opposed to just contractors who they only come and they work for a few weeks or whatever, and I move on to the next contractor. So I get it. I get it. But,
And I'm not knocking it. I'm not, if you, that's the route that you want to go,
right.
cool. But
Yeah.
it's a different relationship, a different communication thing with
Yep.
employees and contractors.
Yep. Yep. I agree 100%. That's why you here today.
Hmm.
That's why you here today.
Yep.
So, kind of explain to us, because I didn't quite get this topic, Mr. Bernard. Can you explain to me about the virtual assistants and how they're improving business communication?
All right. So if I haven't said this enough, Jazz, I thank you for everything you've done for me and everything that I'm doing. And my wife thanks you because you've given me my time back. Okay. The reason why this really caught my eye is because one, when I think of something, right? When I try to jot it down and try to shoot out an email, I send it to Jazz first, right? Jazz will look over it. It may not be she'll take my idea that I jotted down and make it even better and make it more polished and sounds really inviting. Where in my mind, it's just, it might be like you and I, we just kicking it at a bar. I'm just saying, hey man, you need to do this. In her mind, she's coming to you professional. Hey, yeah, so this is the reason why you want to do this, X, Y, Z. And you know what I'm saying? This is what you can get. This is your ROI, all that type of stuff, right? Me, on the other hand, I may not be that polished, right? So Jazz improved my communication in that sense for my business so that, if she did it for me, I'm sure there's a bunch of other virtual assistants that can do it for your business or everybody else's businesses as well.
Okay. Okay. I buy that interpretation of it. I buy it because I read the article.
Yeah, I figured you did.
I read the article and it was talking about Alexa and
I'm
Alexa.
virtual assistants in communication.
Listen. I'm not knocking Alexa. I'm not knocking Siri. I'm not knocking none of that. But sometimes it's just good just to talk to a real person. Hey, Jazz, can
Yeah.
you do this for me? Am I doing something wrong? What am I not seeing? So that's my take on it.
Let's give
Right.
a little insight, Jasmine, on the bottom line for people who work as virtual assistants. What's a fair rate, I should say, for like per hour, per assignment? Can you break that down a little bit in broader terms?
Okay, yes. So, of course, it depends on your skill level and what you can do. Um, our lowest rate is $30 an hour. Now, for you, it can start off as 15, depending on what your experience is, what your skill set is. But it determines on what you feel like you can produce for that client. Some stuff I do have is per task or per project, depending on what's being done. And then there's other things that I do charge by the hour or the package rate for what's being done. So it really just determines on that person and what they feel like they're worth.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah. I'm not mad at you. Because if
Mm,
I pay you $30 an hour, you better deserve it. I'm just saying. I'm just
mm.
saying. All right. Um, I can actually hear it in your voice that you.
And then you got to think about too, it's their time.
Yeah.
They're spending time doing this. And with virtual assistants, even though you're paying for those a certain amount of hours, if you have a good VA, 9 times out of 10, they're going over that, but you don't know they're going over that. So it's like it's like a imbalanced balance thing depending on what you're dealing with. And a lot of times I do go over, but my clients don't know that. But that's because I know what I'm going to give them. I'm not going to give them no half behind stuff.
Do they have like conferences in the United States for VAs?
Ooh, excellent question.
I
Because
don't know.
you seem to me like the person that sits on the panel to describe to me as a potential employer
Just
of
like any other
VAs.
industry,
You absolutely. You seem
profession.
like you are the go-to person for a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the VA industry. Do they have conferences in Vegas, Austin, Miami, wherever?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I never thought about it. I just
Mm.
kind of started my own research, got into Facebook groups, figured it out, put it together, boom.
Yeah, I can bet you.
Now, I will say this. Jazz might be she's not forthcoming with this, but she did just get off of a panel the other day or the other week. So, I'm just trying to help
And the
you
panel
guys toot
focused
your horn.
on what did Jasmine speak on?
Virtual assistants.
Okay. What was some of the knowledge you shared?
One of the things I actually ended up doing research is that VAs can save you about 75% in your costs, in your operational costs. So with a VA, they're working from
Bearing the
home.
lead, are we?
I mean, you don't have to pay for their insurance, you don't have to pay for their health benefits, you don't have to pay for an office or anything like that because they're working from their own comfort of their home or their own office space if they have one. So it's a lot of cost things that you're saving on.
I agree 100%.
Mm.
100,000 zillion percent. You are correct. One of the reasons why I would choose to use them rather than having those return back to in person. You know, specifically in dealing with DSDT. So we have to return back to in person after having this post pandemic uh, hoopla that has been having. And so the hardest thing has been trying to find those uh, I just say employees who now are willing to return to the workplace and take it back to what it was pre-COVID. Pre-COVID, especially my admissions representatives, they used to come to work from 9 to 5, and they would have tours throughout the day scheduled. Individuals would come in, they give them a tour of the facility, and then they would sit down and try to figure out, as to whether or not this was a good fit for them. And it seems that that's not going to return anytime soon as we're trying to make it fit. And I say make it fit because it's not the times of old, 2 years ago. You know, people have been in this microcosm of, doing things their way now. I go out in the world if I want to, and, I can work remotely. I can go to the doctor remotely. I can do all these things. And so it's kind of difficult in trying to find those individuals who are willing to come back to the traditional way of DSDT doing things. And all the more reasons why I'm trying to find more VAs to be able to run some of the operations that the pandemic showed us that we can do without necessarily having to have someone here in the brick and mortar. So, but anyhow, anyway, that my 2 cents. I'm just saying.
Adding your little 2 cents.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So, what's next for you guys, Bernard?
Well, I'm gonna give more money to Jazz so she can make me more money. That's pretty much it.
You're gonna give more money to her so she'll make you more money.
Yeah. Is her listen for our time together, she has brought me more of a return on my investment than a lot of these stocks and bonds, right? And no shade to people who's doing stocks or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, she has proven her weight in gold to me and my operations and almost everything else that I do. And I can't stop saying this enough because my wife loves it. My wife loves it because without her, I was spending more and more time doing these projects, doing business deals and stuff like that. When now I got Jazz who can kind of take a lot of that load off of me, and now I can have more time devoted to my wife and all that type of stuff. And I can sleep in my own bed comfortably without having to worry about my wife giving me the stink eye. You know what I mean? And At the end of the day, that's all that matters to me. I would love to sleep in my bed with my wife and not on a couch because the couch ain't where it's at.
Listen, when you talk about couches, I feel like you're on our couch right now. I'm just saying.
Just saying.
You let us in on some information that maybe we ought not to know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm
I know.
not.
We
Just
all,
saying.
I think as entrepreneurs have all been there to some degree at some time in our married lives. I get it. I get it. Well, Jasmine, I definitively would love to thank you for taking out time today of your busy schedule and coming on with us. Um, I love the discussion.
Yes.
Right, you definitely give me another uh, perspective
Hmm.
of what the VA industry has and perhaps what I should be looking into. If there was one parting tip that you would have specifically for Carlos, because I'm the one that's really looking for more VAs, what would you say to me to kind of steer me clear of? I've been looking at Jamaica. I'm just saying, I've been looking at Jamaica. Hey, calm down, y'all, calm down.
Know what you want.
Mm.
Know what you want, and know that they can. The relationship with your VA is personal. It becomes personal because think about it, they know everything about your business. Everything.
Mm.
So
You
you
need
want to
someone who's
make
trustworthy
sure,
as well.
yes, you want to make sure that they're trustworthy.
Where do you go to for referrals? Is there a source like the BBB, or I mean, how do you get that kind of information? Do that background check, quote unquote, to make sure you're getting the right person who's going to have all the insights about your business.
So most of my stuff is like customer referrals, but
Hmm.
um you can have your own process. I know some clients, they have their own agreements that they sign. We have an agreement that our clients sign, and one of those things in that is that we're you have a confidentiality agreement. We don't share your information. We If it's outside of our company, we won't. Your stuff that we make for you is for you. So if you want an agreement for your stuff as well, make that.
Have it in writing.
That's the best
Man,
thing.
Hmm.
good job.
All right,
Good
right
job.
on.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Perhaps at some point we bring you back as one of our panelists. I promise you, because you are a plethora of knowledge. We appreciate your time, and we definitely want to thank Mr. Bernard for bringing you on. Everybody, Jasmine.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Jasmine.
Mr. Bernard,
Yes, sir.
where do you get these people? I'm just asking these questions.
Hey,
Where do you get these people?
great get.
Right? Last time, I remember you brought on the trainer, right?
Yeah,
You still got me questioning my physicalities. I'm just,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying, right? And at the same time, now I'm thinking about how do I find the non so traditional virtual assistant, American virtual assistant that I'm looking for? Because
yeah,
I'm looking for the sales teams more so,
yeah,
than the administrator. I got enough administrators around me. I do. There are absolutely enough. Everybody wants to be an administrator. Everybody wants to be an administrator, but everybody can't sell.
Hmm.
They
yeah,
can't. They can't. So I'm looking for the VAs that think they are the greatest salesmen and they have the wherewithal, like a Jasmine, that have started their own firms and wouldn't mind coming in and showing proof. So,
yeah,
and if there's
yeah.
some VAs out there that are listening under the sound of my voice right now, all you got to do is get in contact with me. Go to dsdt.edu, submit a contact form, and I promise you somebody will reach out to you. I'm just saying.
Yeah, yeah. And just because Jazz didn't get the opportunity to promote her stuff, let me push it out there for her. Her website is mybass.com. I'm almost positive that's right. Trust me, she's not paying me to say this or anything like that. I'm just like I'm a champion for her because I know what she has done for me,
Hmm.
and I'm just trying to return the favor any way I can. But to answer the original question you asked me, uh, I'm not trying to do a shameless plug here, but because of my podcast, it has put me in the network of a lot of great people. And when I asked them, because they've done such a great job with my podcast, I asked them, hey, you want to come and do this podcast too? They're like, oh yeah, sure, come on. All right, great. I'm just blessed to have that type of network.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, we definitely appreciate you, sir. I appreciate you. If don't nobody appreciate you, I will tell you right now that this entire production was done by Mr. Gleaton himself. I didn't have to do anything really when it came time for us to have this episode today. All I had to do was like, Josh, just show up. I'm just saying.
I'll take it.
just,
I will take it.
I just want to be like Josh when I grow up. I'm just gonna show up, and it just magically happens, right? But again, we thank you, sir. We appreciate you, and we look forward to having you. As a matter of fact, why don't we do this? We need to take a station identification, and we want to come back and have a conversation with our student of the day, Mr. Horace Williams, and we want to have a conversation about his experience with DSDT, and we'd love for you to sit in on that conversation. Can you do that, Mr. Gleaton?
I sure can.
So we will return right after these conversations, and or should I say, paying these bills, so that we can have that conversation. All right.
Sounds good.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Josh.
I'm Carlos, better known as Crypto Los.
This is the Tech School Podcast powered by DSDT.
I just made up Crypto Los in case you didn't.
And that's exactly what this is. It's a great season. Season 4, we're back in the building, side by side.
If you haven't checked out the podcast, make sure that you go to it wherever you get your podcast from.
But in the meantime, see ya.
Hello, I'm Jason Stemmer. I served 5 years as a combat engineer in the United States Army. In the summer of 2019, I joined DSDT to learn advancing technologies in computer support, networking, cybersecurity, many valuable tools in digital media. DSDT is partnered with a lot of veteran-friendly employers, and with the help of DSDT's job placement assistance, I was able to quickly begin work in the IT field. I'm very pleased with this direction, as there is unlimited potential in the technology field, with no signs of growth or demand ever slowing. So come in for a visit, take a tour, and schedule a meeting with an advisor. DSDT really changed my life for the better, and it can change yours.
At a Detroit School for Digital Technology, we strive to provide students who are willing to learn new and exciting skill sets with a quality education in cutting-edge film technology to include recording in HD and 4K formats, drone videography, editing, and state-of-the-art color grading. Our instructors are friendly, knowledgeable industry professionals who are willing to teach. For more information, call us at 313-263-4200 or visit us on the web at dsdt.tech.
Gentlemen, welcome back. Great episode. Jasmine, as you guys alluded to, did an excellent job. Bernardo, thank you for that.
No problem.
Yes, sir. All right, so let's bring in a gentleman by the name of Horace Williams, who is a current student here at DSDT, is my understanding? Current or former?
Current.
Present. Okay,
Right
present.
now.
All right, right here, right now. Horace Williams. Good afternoon, brother.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How are you guys?
Doing well, my friend, doing well. So tell us a little bit about your current experience here at DSDT, what program you're in, what you're looking to do with it, and so on.
Okay, well, right now, I'm enrolled in DSDT. I'm doing the Core 1 and 2 CompTIA class. And the class is supposed to help me just really get a basic foundation for what I'm looking to do in the IT field.
And you're jumping into the IT field from where, doing what previously?
I'm jumping in the IT field from plumbing and other things and security work. I was really interested in information technology ever since I was a child.
What really piqued the interest?
I was always into. I'm sorry, I got cut off.
No worries. Yeah, you said you've always had an interest in IT since you were a kid.
Yeah, so I always had an interest in information technology. I am a firm believer that information technology is what's moving the planet right now. So for me, it was kind of like a no-brainer when I heard you could make a living off of it. I was like, hey, I'm already, into computers, working with technology. So it's kind of a no-brainer to hop in.
I'm
So
curious, as far as was there a certain experience, a certain moment, something specific that happened where it's like, okay, I really need to make this turn and inquire more about this?
well, there was two things. I want to say the first thing was just like I told you, my general interest.
Hmm.
And the second thing is the financial aspect of the information technology field. Um, Information technology, cybersecurity, which is something I'm really looking at getting into, is expected to grow by 26%. The field is in the next 10 years. So that's a really big leap, and that means that there are going to be some opportunities to really dig in and make a good living. And I think with that and me being into it, it was kind of just like you want to make good money, you want to do something you enjoy doing, so it's not a job, it's a career. So that's what brought me here.
And,
Okay, let
and
me let me
preach
let me,
that.
let me tell you this.
Go
Let me
ahead.
tell this. I got to tell this story. I
I
got
just
to
like what
tell
he
this story, Mr.
I like what he
Williams.
said about job versus career.
Right,
There
right,
is a
right.
difference.
Listen,
Yeah.
so
All right.
and hey, come on now. So a lot of you guys may not know, but we had a flood in one of our main buildings at on campus, and so we were in the process of having everything fixed. And I don't know what happened down there because I'm not a plumber. You're speaking to the guy that is the plumber, right? And so Mr. Horace and his brother show up, working for the company. Won't say the name. And once they serviced and everything, they asked me, "What did we do here?" So I explained to him of the school and the programs that we offered, and he was like, "Man, I really would love to take one of those programs." And let me tell you something, and I am what I am. I'm looking at this guy, right? And after a hard day work, and I don't want to get my hands muddy and dirty. I'm just saying, right? And I'm looking at the young guy, and I'm saying, he probably would do well in an IT role, because he already just exudes all of that. And so I say to him, I say, you know what? If you really want to do it, I'll scholarship you to do it. Did it happen that way?
Oh, that's exactly how it happened, Mr. Harris.
I said, I'll scholarship you to take the program.
Mm.
And he said, if you do, I will be here on Monday. I will be here on Monday. And lo and behold, he's been here that Monday and every Monday since.
Show up and show out.
Yeah.
That's the plan. Yeah, like I was telling Mr. Harris the first day I came back, I told him, I appreciate the opportunity, and I feel like I had a date with my destiny. So you want to make sure you're on time. You want to make sure you show up for that. And I just really want to thank DSDT, my Professor Gleaton. He's been mentoring me and just showing me all around the do's and don'ts, and just breaking it down in a way I can understand. And I think one of the things that I've really been taking most from DSDT and what they've offered me and done for me is the mindset, right? So it's not always about the problem. And this is this is Professor Gleason speaking a little bit. It's not always about the problem. It's about how you go about solving the problem, right? It's about how you find solutions to things. And, just through that, in my short time being here, is just opening up a whole different world of thinking, possibilities, opportunities. So, I'm just really happy to be a part of this.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Hmm.
That's what I'm talking about because at the end of hold on now.
No,
What?
hey, hey.
I'm, I'm,
Do not disrespect
no, if
the
anything,
artist brother Horace Williams after those fine words.
right? If anything, you should have got one.
You can.
That's
So
more like it.
I'm the guy that's gonna always tell everybody business. Don't tell me nothing if you don't want everybody to know it. It is what it is. See, Mr. Williams, one of the biggest things that I had to do that, the reasons why I had to do what I did, is because so many times you hear about young ladies who are single parents. You always hear about the mothers that are single parents. But what about the fathers? What about the fathers? I get chills saying that, right?
Yep.
What about the fathers who are making it happen every day, that are going to work to jobs that they don't like just because they're trying to provide for that individual, that baby, that responsibility that they have? What about the fathers? Guess what? Mr. Williams is one of those fathers. Mr.
Yes.
Williams is one of those fathers, and one of the story that he was telling me about his baby, I mean, you can't help but to help. And
Yeah.
I won't go into details about it, but definitively, he is the reason why we ever created DSDT. You know, it's so that individuals that were like a Carlos or like Jamie, at the end of the day, they would get connected with a community of like-minded individuals that could show them that you can do something other than what you're doing right now. I never wanted to do blight removal, and I tell that story time and time again. I had the opportunity to. I didn't want to do it. I don't want to be. I mean, I could, but I didn't want to do it. I wanted to sit down in somebody's podcast room and talk a little bit about technology and try to connect people with opportunities that they otherwise wouldn't have. And that's why DSDT is fundamentally important to the community members that we serve. And brother, you one of those community members.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. I totally agree. You know, it's I think, and just to touch on what you were saying, I think DSDT does a little bit more. And just from a personal experience, I feel that you guys give a lot to people in the hope department. And you know, nowadays with all this stuff going on, we don't talk about how important it is just to have something that you believe in, or have something that believes in you, or just have, you know, another opportunity. Like, you know, like I told you before, you know, I was a plumber, and Mr. Harris, you know, we had this talk before. I'm a plumber. You know, my daughter was sick. I'm trying to figure out, you know, how I can financially become more, I don't want to say responsible, but just be able to do more
Provide more
financially.
stability.
Yeah, provide more stability.
Yeah.
And, you know, for a minute, it was kind of getting dark because, you know, I've missed school now because my daughter gets ill. You know, she's type 1 diabetic. So, you know, I've missed my school and everything. And what DSDT did for me was it also gave me hope, because sometimes you get stuck in a place where you think things are over for you, right? And you're like, I'm here, I'm stuck here, I'm in a hole, I don't know how to get out. And I think DSDT does a really good job of saying it's not over yet, right? You can still come back and do some things. You can still become better. You know, there's still a chance to upgrade. There's still a chance to learn. There's still a chance to become a better professional and tighten up some of those weaker areas in your game. So,
Hey, I can
you
let me
know,
tell you this. Let me say this, and I'll be done. I'm gonna shut up from this point on. I'm gonna have a hard time doing it, but I'm gonna do it. If there's ever a day where you have issues and concerns to where you think you can't make it to class because you have things going on with your daughter, bring your daughter.
oh yeah.
Bring your daughter. I'm sure Mr. Gleaton will sit in class and, give her something to do while you are making sure that the assignment gets in. At the end of the day, I would love to see her here. And in case you haven't noticed, we got babies.
Oh yes. Yes. You got a whole
we,
DSDT
we
family.
got babies on campus. I'm just saying.
We got the whole DSDT family.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So we definitely believe that I don't want for this to go untouched. I think that you need all extensions of assistance as anyone else, because you're genuinely trying to figure it out and maneuver through obstacles that some of us have already been through. And anything that I can do in order to make that journey a little less painful for you, I'll do it. And that's not talk. Anybody that knows me, don't let me tell you the story about the $200. Go back and see 2 episodes ago. Go back and see it. I don't just
Mr.
talk
Harris,
about
I
it.
mean,
You're really gonna keep that here, Carlos.
I'm a believer because I believe you already extended that to me, right? You didn't know who I was, right?
Yeah.
You didn't have to offer me anything, right? but you did. So I feel, as a person looking at actions above words, I think your actions and your character speak volumes, as well as Professor Gleaton. I just can't. Professor Gleaton, some of the things that he's taught me, some of the things he's put in my mind, I really just feel like are really just going to help me take my game to the next level. So, I got to give a lot of props to him as well. I thank you for coming in every day, Professor, staying late with me, making sure I understand stuff, making sure I'm getting what I need. If I got to call you, text you, whatever, you always make yourself available. And, I really appreciate that.
That's right.
I don't know if I'd be able to, keep doing what I'm doing without you. So
that's right.
Hey, I just want to say, I know this is finals week, so you don't gotta suck up too hard to get extra points.
Hey man, I'm passing that anyway, man. You already prepared me. I'm passing that anyway. I'm not.
You got suck up that much. Listen, okay, so knowing that you are currently in class and you made the step or took the step in order to get enrolled, if there's someone right now sitting on the other side of this screen and they're considering DSDT, despite the phenomenal success that you are in the process of becoming, what would you say to that individual as they're considering DSDT?
What I would say to that individual, if they were considering, I would ask that individual first, what are you looking for? And if that answer falls in any of the categories between you're looking for a place that's going to welcome you, that's nationally accredited, a place that cares about their students, you're more than just a check to them, a place that wants you to come in and learn and be successful, because, the last one, like we said, they're not a check to you. They're students, they're family, and they're people you care about. So I would say if they're considering going to DSDT, you should drop the consideration and you should come get with us because we're doing some amazing things. I think the staff is awesome. I think the courses are great. I think the hands-on approach and the opportunities that you guys are giving out is just awesome. So to a person considering going to DSDT or anywhere else, I would just ask them, what are you looking for in a learning experience? Because if you're looking for a place where you could come in, be welcome as a student, a family member, a friend, then I would recommend going to DSDT. So
there it is.
That's what I would tell them. You guys should come get down. If you're watching this right now, come get down, come up your game. Come take it to a next level. You're not stuck. We're working off hope. I don't know if that's the model, but we're working with some hope. There's people here that care about you, that want to genuinely see you succeed. And that's mind-blowing because, honestly, we live in a place where people don't care. So come get down with DSDT. We can show you better than we can tell you. That's all I can say.
That's what I'm talking about. Mr. Bleaton, we're going to let you close out this segment, if you will.
All right. First of all, appreciate you for coming on today and for listening and for giving your input to my student, soon to be former student, and even more of a mentor to him, and to my virtual assistant, Jazz. Appreciate you guys for coming out. I hope you guys learned a lot about virtual assistants, how it can help you, and answer a lot of their questions. She always answers my questions, so I ain't worried about that. But I hope she answered a lot of you guys' questions. Again, if you want to reach out to Jasmine, her company, her virtual assistant company is MyVAS, MyVAS.com. MyVAS.com. You can check her out. Check out her virtual assistant services. She does a lot of my social media as well as just a few management things, and she's really helping me out with broadening my horizon when it comes to my ideas and things of that nature. And as always, like my student just said, if you want to get down with DSDT, you know what I'm saying? Don't mess with any other schools. Get down with DSDT. That's on some death row hip hop. I'm sorry. That's all I can think about when he was saying that. All I can think about was Shig Knight.
I might have came a little too hard on that one. My bad.
We're talking about technology, man.
Right.
Listen, we want to thank you guys for taking our time on your schedule today in order to join us. We definitely appreciate you, as well as we look forward to having another conversation with you in the future. All right?
Thanks so much. Appreciate y'all.
Get down with DSDT. Love it, man. Love it. Carlos, that was some beautiful, unscripted candor.
Right. Hold on now. Let me make sure. Let me check. Yeah. I don't think I paid him for that. I don't think I paid him for it.
No.
So, genuine.
Mm-hmm.
That's the word that comes to mind.
Yep.
Genuine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these stories that we're hearing time and time again, they're not fake. They're not made up. You know, they don't say it just because it's the flavor of the day. It's the truth. It's the truth. The reason we show up every week to do these podcasts is because we happen to believe that what we're doing at DSDT is different. It's different than your junior college. It's different than the university that you're considering. And not saying that the junior colleges and universities aren't equipped to give you what you need, because rightfully so. If that's where you see yourself going, then
Absolutely.
by all means, you should do that.
But it's all about laying out all of the options, all of the resources, making sure people, making sure people know, hey, who may live in Southwest Detroit or the East Side, etc., that, hey, if a 4-year degree is not your thing, then maybe you can pivot in this direction.
Absolutely. You know, and that's wholeheartedly why DSDT was created. For those individuals who are not looking for a 4-year degree, who are not considering doing like my daughter just did, and she's going out of state in order to attend a 4-year master's program. 4-year master's program. That means that she's already done 4 years and is about to go do another 4 years.
And I like the way you lay that out, Carlos, that your own daughter is going the quote-unquote traditional route. So you're not just here saying, hey, come to our institution. It's not about that. It's about, hey, if you're considering something outside of the orthodox education route.
DSDT is for you. You know, and we're trying to create an atmosphere, programs that are meant for today's work environment, because it's not a traditional setting here. You know, it's not what you would consider, even if you were out doing the HBCUs and the tours. It's not traditional here. And I think that one thing that you would gravitate towards through every student that we bring on to speak about the school, it's family. It's family.
What it comes down to is, what is the best educational route for you? Whether it's a university, HBCU, trade school, DSDT, this is just another avenue to give you more perspective on which way you should go.
Absolutely. And you definitely should consider it. You should consider it. Now, again, for your university, if that's what you want to do, go do it. I'm not going to be the person that stands between you and that degree that you all your life wanted to go do. However, if you don't know where you're headed and you haven't quite figured it out, I promise you, I have admissions representatives that you need to speak to, and they can help lead you in the right direction. They're not going to make the decision for you, but they can give you the information that you need in order to make a honest decision about what your future entails. All right?
We know the saying, information is key.
Yeah, and I also say, if you got $1,
don't do it, man. Don't do it.
$1 will make you holler. I'm just saying.
$1 will make you holler. Suge Knight. Where did this episode go, man?
I'm just trying to figure it out.
All good and all good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for the Tech School podcast powered by DSDT. Until next time, see ya.